They get me ready for surgery. They start the IV. Wheel me down the hall. I say goodbye to my wife. They burst open the doors of the surgery room. And I thought, man, it's freezing in here. But, I'm still 104 fever. They slide me over onto the surgical table. I look to my right, and out of nowhere, Jesus is standing there. The physical person, and everything else just kind of disappeared. There were no other people in the room, and I look and I'm like really confused. I'm thinking, what is going on here? And then I thought to myself, did I die? And I thought, I've heard of people when they die, they see themselves floating up above their body. And I thought, oh, I didn't do that, so I must not be dead. But what's going on? It wasn't like it was a dream. It was like heightened reality. And it started right when Jesus stood there. Everything was different. His skin was much darker than I'd seen as a kid. He almost looked like an Arab man. He was wearing a white robe. He had like wavy brown hair, and he had these dark greenish blue eyes. And when those eyes looked into my eyes, he looked into my soul. I could just feel this love emanating from this man. That was what convinced me that it was Jesus. Everything about him just radiated love. He holds out his hand and he says, I want to answer your prayer. And I'm thinking, my prayer? What the heck? I didn't make the connection right away, but I thought, I used to pray as a kid that Jesus would show me heaven. I remember my grandfather passed away, and he was a Catholic, so we went to his funeral, and there was a priest up there, and he was holding this ball on a chain, and it had holes in it, and there's smoke coming out of it. And the smoke's going up, and the priest says, the smoke represents our prayers going up to heaven. They were talking about Grandpa's in heaven now. There's no more pain. There's no sadness. There's no tears. And I remember thinking as a kid, wow, sounds like a great place, I'd like to see that. I reached out, I took his hand. Immediately, when I took his hand, we were standing on a hill. Everything around me is white, like the whitest white I've ever seen. It's almost blinding. But I look down at my feet, and I'm barefoot. I'm still in a nightgown, the surgical gown. And I see this beautiful green grass. It's like it's manicured, it's perfect. It's bluish green, prettiest grass I've ever seen. And my senses were heightened to the point where I could count every single blade of grass under my feet. I could feel every blade of grass. I knew how many blades of grass were touching my feet.